Shalom. Your host, Officer Luke, and the title of the class today is Bastards, Pastors, and Saviors. All right, so we're going to get into it. We're going to open up with Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. All right, this is the scripture I like to open up with, so let's bring it out.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee.
So, in order to remember the days of old, we have to go into the scriptures. To remember the days of old means to also meditate on it. Because what happens when you start keeping the commandments? Christ said he'll bring all things to remembrance, right? So you remember the days of old, and to consider goes into that meditation. You thinking about it, you considering your ways, you're considering what the scriptures say and how to deal with things. A lot of times that's something that we neglect, the considering factor. All right. And then it says the years, consider years of many generations, ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. So that's what these classes are for, so we can tell you the things that we have learned from our elders, and we bring it out to you all, the things that we've learned from our fathers. Our father would start with Bishop Nathaniel, our spiritual father, Bishop Yawasop, Bishop Kanai, and the deacons. So those are spiritual fathers, and from them we have the understanding of the scriptures, and we're able to build brothers and sisters up from what we have learned and from what we have been taught. And one of the things that we have been taught is this. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 6. Zechariah 9 and 6.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 6.
Wait, hold up. Because some of y'all might say, why he got a class titled Bastards, Pastors, and, and Saviors? Why he put bastards in there? Now we're going to show you that that's a biblical word. All right, just in case anybody have any questions or any gripes against this. Read.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
Ooh, I like the way you said that, man. Read that one more time.
And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
All right, so it said a bastard should dwell in Ashdod. All right, so do me a favor, pull up the definition of bastards. Let's touch on that. Let's touch on the definition of bastards. All right, scroll down. Don't want that one. All right, scroll down. Go down. Scroll down. Go down. And regular. All right, read number 4.
Bastard. Number 4. Of a kind similar to, but inferior to or less typical than some standard.
Now read number 5.
Number 5. Lacking genuineness or authority.
What's that word they say after in blue?
False.
Ooh, so somebody false will be dwelling in the land of Israel. And let's prove that Ashdod is in the land of Israel. Pull up the Wikipedia now. Pull up the Wikipedia. All right, let's pull up that Wikipedia next, and let's see where Ashdod is. Read that.
Ashdod. Located in the, Ashdod is the sixth largest
Ashdod.
city. Ashdod is the sixth largest city in Israel.
All right, so it's in Israel. Now scroll all the way down to where it says religion. Go to where it's religion at. I think it's toward the bottom. All right. Let's see. You should be getting close to it. Education. Did you no keep going? Train. Keep going. There you go. Religion. All right, read that.
Religion. Over 95% of Ashdod's population is Jewish.
Mm.
Over 30% of Ashdod's populations are Haredi.
All right, so just put the arrow over Haredi. That's those guys. All right, so 95% is Jewish. Those are the ones that don't really follow the standards of the Tanakh, what they read from, or the so-called Torah that they read from. All right, and then the other ones are the ones who abide by the law strictly. All right, so now do me a favor, pull up the book. Pull up the book real quick. Pull up the book. All right, so it says DNA Science and the Jewish Bloodline by Texie Mars. So let's go into the book. Go to the let's see who it is. Oh yeah, so this guy's Amalek. He's Amalek. So he is a so-called Jewish person. All right. So you see it's an Edomite. Now do me a favor. Now go to the I think it's the first shot, the first screenshot. Yeah, right there, chapter 4. Read that, the highlighted area. Read the title of the chapter first. Read the title of the chapter.
How the racial hoax of the Jews was finally exposed.
Woo! So he even knows it. Now go ahead, read the highlighted area.
The newest DNA scientific studies showing that almost all the people known today as the Jews of Israel, and indeed Jews all over the world, are in fact of Khazar.
Oh,
not Israelite origins.
Oh,
is backed by the earlier work of historians.
Oh, so they know this. They know this, man. All right, now do me a favor, pull up the next Wikipedia thing. No, the Merriam. The Merriam. Pull up the Merriam. The Merriam word for ish. All right. So there's a bastard in the land of Israel right now. All right, now read that.
Ish, of, relating to, or being, chiefly an adjective indicating nationality or ethnic group.
Now, read this number 2. Number 2.
A characteristic of.
So it's a characteristic of. So it's not really the same thing. You can go out of that. So from there, read Zechariah 9 and 6 one more time.
Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
So a false pretending to be people will dwell in the land of Israel. All right. So finish it off, and then let's go over to Revelations. Finish it off.
Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
So there's a bastard in the land of Israel. Now read Revelations. Let's see what Christ said about this. Revelations 3 and 9.
The book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Oh,
which say they are Jews.
Which say they are Jews.
And are not.
Liars. Read.
But do lie.
Ain't that what we just read? The definition of bastard? They lie. They false. They are not the people of the book. Jewish is a dead giveaway that they are not the people of the book. They're false. They are not the real deal. Holyfield. They are imposters. They're imposters in the land. And look at this, man. Look at the little boy, man. Come on now. Come on now, dog. You know that ain't Israel. Israel punish their kids and give them haircuts like that, man. We don't even watch. Look at it, long white socks, man. Come on, you hurting me. You can't tell me these the people of the book, man. Laying up against the wall, man. Israel would not, man. That herpes infected wall. Israel would not be doing that. Hey, and Bishop just brought out a heavy class about them sucking the blood out of the baby's the baby's rod. So these people, they ain't right. They are definitely not the people of the book, and they show you in every way, form, or fact. Oh man, damn it, man. All right, man. These people ain't right, man. All right. What I want from there? That just threw my whole mindset. Revelations 3 and 9. Finish it off.
The book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
He loved us. God only loved the children of Israel. And he's going to, and Christ is going to, and when he returns, the whole world is going to know that we are the children of Israel. They're going to know that we are the people of the book. All right. So from there, read Revelations 2 and 9. Because when your mama and daddy told you something twice, you took heed to it. After the first one, the most time, you move it. But when they say it twice, you know they mean business. So let's prove that it was said twice. Revelations 2 and 9.
The book of Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 9.
Read.
I know thy works and tribulation.
So he knows our works. He knows the works that we do in this truth. He knows the works that we had to do to build this nation. He knows the tribulation and the hardship that we go through. Read on.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
He know that we are a poor people. You read that in Isaiah, Isaiah 14:32. We are a poor people. Read on.
but thou art rich.
Why? Because the Bible, the kingdom was all for us. Read on.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
But they're the damn devil the Bible speaks of. They're the home and the land of the devil. That's all they are. They're the breeding ground of Satan. All right. So blasphemy, just so y'all know, it means the extreme lie. So these people are liars. So from there, go to Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36 and 5. Ezekiel 36 and 5. Ezekiel 36 and 5.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
So they took our land with all the joy of their heart. Idumea is the so-called white man. That is Esau, the devil the Bible speaks of. That's another name. The Greek name for him is Idumea. But it says the residue of the heathen. That's going into the Israelis, those fake, the Jewish, the fake Jews. All right. So they took the land with all the joy of their heart. Back in 1948 is when they made that land their land, or supposedly their land. Because even though they took it, that don't mean it's theirs. It's truly not theirs. Read that real quick. I like that what that says. Read that.
This is Chicago Daily Sun Times, Saturday, May 15th, 1948. Its name is Israel. U.S. recognizes Jewish state.
So the U.S. is backing this nonsense, right? They're backing this extreme lie that's being pushed forth in the earth. From there, get me Isaiah 34 and 8. Isaiah 34 and 8. Isaiah 34 and verse 8. All right. So these people aren't the people of the book. You looking at the Israelites, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are the Israelites the Bible speaks of, not those pasty white people over there. I think it was Soldier Messiah the other day at camp. He said we were talking about how all white rice is not good for you, white bread, and guess what? White people either, white women, none of that. It ain't good for you. It'll kill you. All right. So from there, go ahead and read that Isaiah 34 and 8.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 8.
Read.
For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion.
For the controversy of Zion. Meaning there's a controversy. There's in the earth, there's a debate about whose land is it. You hear these so-called African Americans, niggas, and what you call them, Chicos, and so on and so forth, Native Americans over here saying that land belongs to us. That's our land. And they call us Black Hebrew Israelites. You hear our brothers and sisters in Africa saying, guess what? We're descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That land belongs to us. But guess who's saying it's their land? The so-called white man. They push it in the media. The Jewish man. They took our name, took our religion. They took everything from us. And they don't even do our religion properly. You understand? Everything they do is a watered-down version of the real thing. Why? Because Satan is involved in all that they do. So from there, go to First Ezra. First Ezra 4 and verse 45. First Ezra 4 and 45.
The book of First Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 45.
Uh-huh.
Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees.
So that's the Babylonians. So the Edomites helped them destroy the land. Now jump over to verse 50.
Verse 50. And that all the country which they hold should be free without tribute, and that the Edomites should give over the villages of the Jews, which then they held.
So they always wanted our land. They've always had their eye on our land. They always been trying to find ways to take the land from us. But from there, pull up the Bible Atlas, and then we're gonna play the next video. The Bible Atlas. All right, there we go. Now go down to number 5. Number 5. Bible Atlas. Number 5. You're going to read the first part. There you go. Read that.
Number 5, Idumea and the Idumeans, west of the Arabah. The country they occupied came to be known by the Greek name Idumea.
So there you go. We get an idea of who is Idumea, the Greek name of Idumea. And then we're going to go back to Isaiah 34 and 8. No, Ezekiel 36 and 5. All right, so read on.
And the people as Idumeans, Hebron, their chief city was taken by Judas Maccabees in 165 BC, according to 1 Maccabees 4:29, 61, 5, and 65.
Read.
In 126 BC, the country was subdued by John Hyrcanus.
That's our forefather, Maccabees. All right, read on.
Who compelled the people to become Jews and to submit to circumcision.
So they were forced to become Jews. Read on.
Antipater, governor of Idumea, was made procreator of Judea, Samaria, and Galilee by Julius Caesar. He paved the way to the throne for his son Herod the Great.
For who?
For Herod the Great.
So he did the father Antipater is the one who paved the way, who is an Idumean. It's saying it right here. This is historical facts, just in case any of y'all Negroes kicking against the pricks. It says that he paved the way for his son, who again?
Herod the Great.
Now read on.
With the fall of Judah under the Romans, Idumea disappears from history.
So they took on our name and they became the people, the so-called people of God. You understand? So we just read that. Now go back, read Ezekiel 36 and 5 again. Ezekiel 36 and 5. Read it one more time for me.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea.
All Idumea, including the lineage of Herod, the Khazar Jews, because they are not the real people of the book. Real quick, play the video for me real quick, because it's a controversy of the land, right? And you should be able to tell who the people of God are. Go ahead, play the video. You know what I want, Emily. You telling me this is the people? These are the people of the book? What is this? Play the next video. What is this? Come on, man. There's no way that these are the people of the book. There's no damn way in hell. Lack of melanin, everything is lacking. Lack of rhythm, everything's missing. They have no athletic abilities. Nothing about them shows that they're the people of the book. Go ahead. You got the next video? Play that video, man. All right, yeah. There we go. You telling me? Man, that dude look like something off The Hobbit, man. Come on, man. These look like characters out of a damn movie. Jeez. You trying to tell me these are the people? This is disrespectful to the Most High God. So you saying God looks like this? You saying Christ looks like this? You saying Isaiah look like this? Jeremiah look like this? Ain't no damn way in hell these are the people of the book. This is disgusting. All right, take them damn vagabonds off the screen, man. All right, from there, go ahead. Genesis 25:23. I had another video. Oh, that was it. Yeah. All right, Genesis 25 and 23. Genesis 25:23. All right, let's show y'all something. Let's deal with the who Esau is. Who Esau Idumea is. Who they be? Let's find out.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 23.
Read.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
So they're gonna be totally different in their dynamic makeup, the makeup of their bodies. They would look different. They would think different. They would be their whole makeup would be different, way different. Meaning they would be 2 different people all together. They have no similarities. Read on.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
So it's telling you who will be the stronger. It said the elder will shall serve the younger, means the younger will be stronger. Verse 24.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
So these twins weren't identical, they were fraternal twins. Read on.
And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
So Esau means wasted away is he. So it said that the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. So you got to consider this. This was something new in the earth. That's the reason why it's documented in the Bible. No one saw a pink man before, a red man before. No one ever saw that. They didn't use the word pink back then. So you got to imagine what they used to show forth that this was a red person. And you got to remember, he was probably red, pure red when he came out. Red. Because Esau, when they're born, they are red. So this had to be a scary sight, to be honest with you, man. I know they was freaking out. But read on.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out. His hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Israel was 80 years old when she bare them.
All right. So the Jacob came out, and the reason why they did not document his color or what he looked like is because he looked like every baby that was born in the earth prior, black with melanin skin. They documented Esau because he was the first of his kind. It was unusual to see a red baby come out. Just imagine it. So this was something new in the earth, right? So from there, go to Genesis 27 and verse 41. Genesis 27 and 41.
Genesis chapter 27 and verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob.
So Esau has a perpetual hatred toward Jacob. Read on.
Because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
So then will he slay his brother Jacob. And that hatred still is in them to this day. That hatred still is passed down generational. It's like a generational it's locked into their DNA where they can't help but hate us. So read on Amos chapter 1 and verse 11. Amos chapter 1 and verse 11. So it says that he hated Jacob because of the blessing. All right. And it said after the days of mourning for our father Isaac, he was going to kill us, right? He was going to kill our forefather Jacob. All right. So watch this.
Amos chapter 1 and verse 11.
Read.
Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity.
So he pursued us with the sword, and he cast off all pity, meaning he had no pity for the young, for the old. Just what you read in Deuteronomy 28, 49 and 50. He had no compassion toward any of us. They slayed us during the time of the Babylonians, during the time of the Greeks. Every period of history, they had the opportunity to destroy us. They went and destroyed us. That's the reason why you read in First Ezra 4 about them going, and 50 about them going into our land and taking our land. So that's why you read that history. Now go to Genesis chapter 36. Genesis 36 and read verse 9. Verse 9. Genesis 36 and verse 9.
The book of Genesis, chapter 36 and verse 9. And these are the generation of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
So we're talking about the generation of Esau, the Edomites, the Idumeans. All right, so jump over to verse 16.
Verse 16. Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek.
Amalek. So Amalek is the forefather of who you would call the Jewish people. Amalek. So with Amalek, he was a duke. So that means he was a high-level Edomite. He was not just a normal, typical Edomite that walked around. No, he was what you would call a prince, a king. He had status. You understand? So from there, pull up the next article. I think it's from Living Truth. Living Truth. All right. Read the first paragraph. I believe it's the first paragraph. Go down. Yeah. Compare the massive. All right. Yeah. Read that. The first paragraph.
Pull the title back up. The Amalekite within us. Compared to the massive Canaanite armies or the might of the Philistines, we may not think of the Amalekites as one of Israel's most threatening foes. Why? Then is this the enemy God declares he will be at war with for generations?
Read the next one.
One possible reason is the Amalekites are closely related to the Israelites. The Israelites were descendants of Jacob, while the Amalekites were descendants of Esau.
Mm.
As the firstborn of the twins, Esau was entitled to a birthright and a special blessing from his father, Isaac. But Jacob was a trickster who cheated his brother out of both the blessing and his birthright.
So we know that that's a lie. Why? Because the title of the article is The Amalekites in Us. So you know who wrote this. Read on.
When Esau returned from a hunt famished, Jacob lured him into trading his birthright for a bowl of stew. Jacob then tricked his blind father into giving him the blessing that rightfully belonged to Esau.
So we all know that that's cap. Because all you gotta do is just read the history. So from there, go to the go to Matthew 2:13. Matthew 2:13. Let's go there. Matthew 2:13. Then we'll pull up the article. Matthew 2:13. So these bastards spend their whole life lying and covering up the truth. Now read that. Matthew 2:13 about Herod.
The book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
So Herod was seeking to destroy us. He is so-called Jewish, right? So he ruled over the land of Judea at the time. Read on.
Verse 14. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod.
Now jump over to verse 16.
Verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men.
So Herod put forth a decree to slay all the Israelite children from ages, what was it, 2? It was from age 2 and below. So basically, he went forth and slayed all our kids. The same spirit that was on them then is the same spirit that is on them now. Why? Because he felt like he was mocked. So he went forth and he began to slay our children, kill our babies. All right. So from there, go to so that's that hatred they have for us. Go to Psalms 82 and verse 2. No, pull up the article. Article on Herod. Article on Herod. Just another view of who Herod was. It was a book I was looking for, but I couldn't find it. Shows that Herod had like a hatred for our leaders. But go ahead, read that.
Herod the Great, king of Herodian kingdom. How Jewish was Herod. Herod, one of the greatest and most controversial kings of Judea, was born in the year 73, 72 BCE to a family of Idumean converts.
So there you go. That's all I wanted out of there. Out of Idumean converts. So his lineage is so-called the Jewish people. So he's an Idumean convert. And what did they do after that? They set themselves up in the land eventually under Caesar, because first they were over Idumea. Antipater, his father, was over the land of Idumea. Then Caesar gave him the authority over Judea. The next thing you know, he gave his son that authority, and he was set up as the ruler over Judea, right? So let's read Psalms 82 and verse 2.
The book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked?
Psalms
Selah.
82 and verse 2.
Yes, sir.
Wait, hold on. Let me go. Du-du-du. Maybe it's Psalms 83 I meant. Hold on. I believe it's Psalms 83. Yeah, Psalms 83. I wrote down 82. My bad.
Psalms
83.
chapter 83 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So it says that our enemies, meaning they're not our friends, but they are our enemies. They're the enemies of God, and they're our enemies also. And it says that they make a tumult. That's a large, angry gathering. All right. And it says they have that they that hate thee have lifted up the head, meaning they have lifted themselves up where now they're above us and they have pride. That goes back to us being in slavery and so on and so forth, right? So read verse 3.
Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Uh-huh.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So today, the name of Israel is no more in remembrance. Yeah, the name is out there, but the people that actually are the Israelites in the land, the way you view the land, the way you view the people, it has been diminished. No one thinks of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans as the Israelites today, to the point that that crafty council, because there's different levels of the crafty council, but there's one particular point that I want to touch on dealing with the crafty council. So real quick, we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. I don't think this is in my notes. Deuteronomy 28 and read verse 65. One point of the crafty counsel. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 25.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 65.
Uh-huh.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
So among these nations, we will find no ease. Now jump up to verse 64.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people,
Uh-huh.
from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
So the Lord scattered us, and among these nations we will find no ease. So let's see what we will look for ease from. Read on.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all the people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Uh-huh.
And there thou shalt serve other gods,
Wood,
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So we tried to find ease in the wood and stone among these nations that we were scattered in. So we were looking for hope in what they would say all the wrong places. So we're trying to find ease from our enemies, from a nation that has destroyed us, from a people that actually hate us. That's who we're looking for ease from, because Christianity would be the wood, Islam would be the stone. Those are the two biggest religions that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in. Those are the two biggest religions on the face of the earth that we look for ease in. From there, pull up the next go back to Psalms 82 and read verse 4. Psalms 82 and read verse 4.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 4.
What did I say? 82 again? Man, I'm dyslexic today.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So it said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. How did they do that? They used religion. They used the Christianity. They used Islam. They used all these things to cut us off. Slavery. They used all these different avenues, education, to cut us off from being a nation. And Amalek was behind all this stuff. Lord's will, in the future, I got another class that shows that Amalek was behind the education system that we follow today. They're behind all that. It's all Amalek. Why? So they could push forth this lie in the earth. And guess what? They're behind the Christian church that we follow today. Well, not us, but many of our people follow today. Go ahead, read on. They have consulted together. Verse 5. Opposite.
Verse 5.
All right.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So they're united against us. Number one on the list is who?
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles. That's the house. All of Edom. All of Edom is against us. Now jump down to where does it say? Verse 7.
Verse 7. Gebal and Ammon and Amalek.
And Amalek. So they're all against us. And guess what? They're all on God's hit list. When you read this, Psalms 83, verse 6 on down, it gives you God's hit list. This is his hit list. Idumea is at the top of his hit list. And guess what? Amalek is there too. All right. So from there, go to the next article. And you're going to read number 2 and number 5. Number 2 and number 5. All right. So read that.
1948. Major news events in history.
All right. So major news events in history. So read number 2.
Number 2. Israel is declared as an independent state.
So Israel was made an independent state at this time. Number 5.
Number 5. The World Health Organization, also known as WHO, was established.
So in the future, Lord's will, if the opportunity strikes, I get a chance to touch on some of these things on that list that was established, because many of it was established by Amalek. Now do me a favor, pull up something that they did not mention happened in 1948. Pull up the next article. The next article. All right, read that.
The World Council of Churches. When the WCC came into being at the first assembly in 1948.
So in 1948, this was established. The World Council of Churches was established in 1948. They don't have that on that list. They don't have it on the list. And guess who was behind this? Rockefeller was one of the key components behind this. Amalek, he was behind this. So read the last paragraph right before the green. Read that.
The WCC holds its assemblies every 6 to 8 years. The first assembly took place at Amsterdam, Netherlands in 1948.
All right. So 1948 was when they first established the World Council of Churches. But it's a branch off from another organization that was started by Amalek. But all this was put together by Amalek. There was a lot of witchcraft going on in the earth in 1948 to make sure, because you got to think about it. How was Israel established in 1948? Who came out? That's dealing with the medical side. Then you have the churches coming out. All this was all a crafty counsel to destroy the children of Israel. All of it happened all at the same time, around the same time. All of it goes hand in hand. And with that, pull up First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48. Wait, hold up. Is it Daniel 9? Daniel 9. Pull Daniel 9, I think it is. Daniel 9. Let me go to it. Daniel 9 before that. I know I don't got this in my notes, man. Sorry to pull you straight like that. Daniel 9 is Daniel 9. You know what I want? That crab may prosper. Read
Yes,
Daniel 9:24. I believe that's it.
Daniel 9:24. Yes, sir. Daniel
8:25. There you go. Yeah. I was looking at wrong chapter. All right, read that.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 25.
Verse 24.
Verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
So they prospered and practiced, and should destroy the mighty and holy people. That is the children of Israel. So they destroyed us. Now read on, verse 25.
Verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
So he caused craft to prosper in his hand. Part of that craft, First Maccabees 3:48. Part of that craft, First Maccabees 3:48.
First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 38. Excuse me,
48.
48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen have sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So at the time of the Maccabees, we were able to get our book back, put our image back in the earth. That's the reason why today we are doing the same thing that went on during the time of Maccabees. We're getting our book back and we're giving the correct imagery. That's why we have stuff like watch and read for the youth. We have images being pushed forth in the earth today of the Israelites, because guess what? They have covered the faces of the judges thereof, like you read in Job chapter 9 and verse 24, right? Because they pushing out this false image. From there, get Psalms 53, verse 1. Psalms 53 and verse 1. Psalms 53 and verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 53 and verse 1.
Read.
The fool have said in his heart, there is no God.
So it says the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. So let's find out who this fool is. Read on.
Corrupt are they, and have done abominable iniquity.
Abominable iniquity. Read on.
There is none that doeth good.
Uh-huh.
God looked down from heaven upon the children of men.
Read.
To see if there were any that did understand, that did seek God.
Now watch this. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Every one of them is gone back. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good. No, not one.
Now verse 4.
Verse 4. Have the workers of iniquity no knowledge?
The workers of iniquity, the workers of sin, do they have no knowledge? Read.
Who eat up my people as
Who
they
do
eat,
what?
Who eat up my people as they eat bread.
So when we read above, who are those fools? Those are the nations. They don't believe in God. The Esau don't believe in God. He don't give a damn about God. But then when you get to verse 4, it says it's telling you that those people eat up the children of God like bread. They eat up his people like bread. They're the ones who have destroyed us. They're the ones who eat us up like bread. Read on in verse 4.
Verse 4. Have the workers of iniquity no knowledge? Who eat up my people as they bread. They have not called upon God.
They do not call upon God. So from there, get Daniel chapter 11 and verse 14. Daniel 11 and verse 14. They know not God.
The book of Daniel, chapter 11 and verse 14. And in those times, there shall many stand up against the king of the south. Also,
So that's talking about Ptolemy, the Ptolemy dynasty, when they were ruling in Egypt. So we're bringing it up to today. Read.
also the robbers of thy people.
The robbers of the children of Israel, the ones who eat up the children of God like bread. Read.
Shall exalt themselves
Uh-huh.
to establish the vision, but they shall fall.
So they're trying to establish a vision that they are the people of the book, but they are counterfeit, like you read in Wisdom of Solomon 2. They are not the people of God. They are not. There's nothing about them shows you that they're the people of God. But they eat up the people like bread, but it says to establish the vision. So they exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they shall fall. Part of them falling is us bringing forth the scriptures. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Let's get straight to the point there. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4.
The
Read.
book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2 and verse 4.
Read.
Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God.
Who does that? Who exalts himself above all that is called God? He exalts himself above the Most High God. He paints his image white. He exalts himself above Christ, our Lord and Savior. He paints himself as Christ. Sees a bow. He don't even, man, you can read Revelations 1 and jump over to 14 and read 14, and you'll see that that is not the image of Christ. You can read Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9 and read about the image of God. But you know what? They paint themselves as the people of the book. They show themselves forth as the Israelites. They paint themselves as the angels. But they aren't the angels. They are not the people of the book. They are liars. Everything these people have done on the face of the earth proves that they are the damn devil of the earth. Only people that can't see it is our people that are over here in Babylon locked in Christianity, and our people in the Caribbean and scattered abroad who are in Christianity. It's only us. But the majority of the world, they know that they are the devil the Bible speaks of. And guess what? Them showing themselves, what it say? Read it again from the top.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
That includes you and I. They exalt themselves and call themselves the people of the book. Read on.
Or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
So he shows himself as God. That's going back to them, the fools saying that there is no God. How do they say there's no God? In all their actions. And guess what, brothers and sisters? If you're in Christianity, you're following this same path. You're saying there is no God. Because when the Israelites bring it forth, guess what y'all say? God knows my heart. His color doesn't matter. He had no color. These things come out of the mouth of our people, and our people are the only people on the face of the earth that go for the BS of a white image of God. If there's no color, why they don't show a blank man or something like that, man? Why don't they show something else, a purple God? Why is every time they show Jesus Christ or they show God, he's white and he got lily white angels, little red angels, little devils? It's amazing. I wonder why they painted the devil red. Must be something behind that. You understand? They must know something. Must be something they trying to tell us. All right. So from there, go to what I got next. Go to, let me see. Do I have another article? No. Go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48.
Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
Uh-huh.
which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
So we have to go to this nation for the want of everything. It told you for the things that we need to survive, such as water, food, clothing, all those things that we have to go to them for. Then it says for the want of all things. So no matter what it is, we have to go to them. Whether it's your birth certificate, your death certificate, and everything in between, from education all the way to your religion, to how you think. So you have to go to your enemies. Read on.
And in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Now read verse 64 again.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
So we will be scattered from the Oceania region, where our bishop just left, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands. You got Fiji Islands, Vanuatu. You got Cook Islands. You got all these islands out there where our people were scattered. Australia. You got our people scattered to the four corners of the earth. We're in Asia. We're everywhere. Everywhere you look, you can find the children of Israel. Why? Because the Lord said we would be scattered from one end of the earth even unto the other. That goes into the Americas. That goes into the Caribbean. And there, read on.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, wood and stone, which is Christianity and Islam. So watch this. So it said we had to go to them for the one of all things. Ezekiel 36 and 20. Ezekiel 36 and 20. So it said we would have to go to them for the want of all things. Ezekiel 36 and verse 20.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 20. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they want, they profaned my holy name.
So when we entered unto the heathen, so wherever we were scattered at, wherever we went, read, whither they went,
they profaned my holy name.
Uh-huh.
When they said to them, these are the people of the Lord, and are going forth out of his land.
So we went forth saying that the so-called white man, they are the real Christians. We are Gentiles. We said that the so-called Amalek, the devil the Bible speaks of, that they're the people of the book. Everybody's the people of the book except for us. We never see us in the Bible. We always see the white man as the God, the Savior. How is the white man only people on the face of the earth that lack melanin, the people of God. They can't even be in the sun for a good hour strong and not turn red. We could be in the sun from sun up to sundown, and you won't. All we're gonna do is get a little bit blacker, baby. We're gonna get closer to the image of Christ. That's it. But they, for some reason, we say that they're the people of the book when they lack all. They the only they get lice. Our hair doesn't even get lice. You know who get lice? Animals. Animals, damn dogs. And that's what they are. So from there, read Isaiah 30 and verse 1. Isaiah 30 and 1. So we went forth and we started calling these the people of the book. So now we're gonna deal with you damn pastors. Because it started with the bastards who told you pastors to preach a certain way. That's why we touched on the World Council of Churches and so on and so forth. Let's read. Isaiah 30 and verse 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
So we take counsel, but not of God. Because who do we go to for counsel? We go to the so-called white man. Our people, when they need counsel, they won't turn to their brother and get counsel. It's what the white man said. That's why every now and then you see leadership, they'll play a video, they'll tell you they've been saying it for years, then they play the so-called white man saying it. Why? Because some of y'all won't believe unless your daddy say it. So read on.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with their covering, but not of my spirit.
But it's not of God's spirit. Read on.
That they may add sin to sin.
So you got to ask your question. If it's not God's spirit that is covering you, then whose spirit is actually covering you? It's Satan's spirit. You don't have the spirit of God. You no longer in the spirit of God. Now you become a vessel of Satan, and guess what? You add sin to sin. And we're going to prove it, because when you think about these pastors, you might love your pastor. You might think he's the best thing since cornbread and chicken wings. But guess what? He ain't. He is following the same blueprint that Christ put forth. I mean, that the white man put forth. Not what Christ put forth, but what the white man put forth. So from there, go to Ezekiel 22 and 26. Let's deal with these pastors. Ezekiel 22, 26.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22 and verse 26.
Uh-huh.
Her priests have violated my law.
So the priests have violated God's law. Now it's going to tell you how they violated God's laws. Read.
And have profaned mine holy things.
They profaned the holy things of God, which is talking about us. We are holy things of God. We're holy vessels of God. And now it's going to tell you in more detail the holy things. Read.
They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
You know what's profane? Esau is profane. And we put no difference between us and them. The pastors, they usually have an Edomite who comes and sits in their congregation. They usually they invite white people in. That's the reason why there was a point in time when a lot of black churches were getting shot up by so-called Esau. Because when they saw him walk in, they were like, oh, it's the Son of God. They welcomed him in, gave him hugs, but let a Negro with his pants sagging come into this church off of the streets, and he like, man, I'm trying to find God. They going to give him the stiff arm. Boy, they're going to ridicule him the whole way. But they accept the damn crusty, musty white man into their damn church at any time. And anytime he wants to come in, he's free to come in. In the middle of Bible study, he can walk in easily. I remember one time we tried to walk into a Bible study to talk to the pastor. They stiff armed us at the door. They looked at the fringes and the border of blue. They said, nah, right now is not a good time, my brother. Wait. I believe in God. No. Right now is not the time. You got to set up an appointment with the pastor to talk to him. This is the type of stuff that they do to their brothers and sisters, right? So read on. It says, and have profaned mine holy things. Read.
They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
We are the holy, they are the profane. Read.
Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean.
So they don't follow the dietary law. They show no difference between the clean and unclean. They eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. They push it for. Matter of fact, we got a term we call pastors, pastor pork shop. You know what I'm saying? Pastor shrimp, crab, and lobster. They love that type of stuff. They'll have a damn I remember when I was in a Christian church, they used to have catfish fries after church on Saturday. These are things they did. They had rib dinners for sale after church. This is all going on what they call the Sabbath, the new Sabbath, right? So they put no difference between the clean and the unclean. It goes into everything that is mentioned in the Bible as being unclean. As far as having sex with a woman on her menstrual, that is unclean. They put no difference between that stuff. You understand? Read on.
Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profane among them.
So they hide their eyes from the Lord's Sabbath. How do they do that? They tell you, I believe in the Big Ten. We asked some sisters yesterday at camp, and you know what they told us? They said, "Yeah, I follow the 10 Commandments. How long you been in church? All my life. All right. So give me the 10 Commandments. Give me the fourth commandment." None of them knew it. You know what? I take it back. I think one sister, she guessed. She said one. I think she said something first. Then she was like, "Oh, the Sabbath day." And then that's what I was like, "Yeah, you got it right. It is the Sabbath day." But they really don't know it. 95% of Christians don't know it. They don't know what the fourth commandment is. And it's the Sabbath day. They say Sunday is the Sabbath. All days of the week you can go to church. Why? Because read the top of verse 26 again.
Is verse 26. Her priests have violated my law.
Because the priests, the preachers, the pastors are violating God's laws. Now read verse 27.
Verse 27. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey, to shed blood and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain.
Tithing, dishonest gain. They say don't follow the Old Testament, but they still want your 10%. And they might even up it. They might ask for more. Hey, real quick, play the video of the it's like kind of like a grainy looking video of a fat brother. He's kind of fat. No, I ain't gonna say kind of. He is fat. He's a lard ass. Yeah, play that video. Should be like maybe the third video, second or third video. Play that one real quick. That brother right there. Listen to this guy. This that dishonest game. Play that.
The gift, but you're holding it up. You will have it saved. You have it put away somewhere. God wants you to sow that right now. We had 500 people give $10,000. Lord, I also break a stingy spirit because I sense that there's some heavy hitters watching me tonight. There's some people that can give 200,000, 300,000. They can give 50,000, 20,000. They got it saved up. But God, that's a stingy spirit. There's a spirit of fear. So I break that spirit of stinginess. Some of you are just giving maybe a little money, $10 here, 20, when you know you have thousands of dollars. Don't be like that. Come on, tell me what you can give. You have money put away. You have money in accounts that you know you are sitting
your
on.
life savings.
And the give, but
he want all your money. He said, "I know some of y'all got 20,000. I know some of y'all got 10,000. I just need 5 people to get 20,000. That's $50,000. You can't tell me that they ain't hustling the people. I ain't never heard our bishops come forth and do something like that. Never. You'll never hear that in IUIC, anybody begging for 10,000, 20,000. They tell you give alms, give what you can. You'll never hear them talking about giving tithes. Tithes is that was only supposed to be given every 7 years? You know, and then you had to go give it to the Levites. And guess what? It wasn't money. It wasn't money. So these pastors are full of crap. They're full of BS. They buying jets. They living fancy lives, all off your expense. While grandma and mama and your family members, they struggling from paycheck to paycheck. We are poor people, but they begging. They out there begging, and they riding in the best cars and driving through and won't give you cat dog ish if you ever ask for help. Why? Because they are getting it by dishonest gain. And the scriptures talk about that. But for time's sake, we ain't going to dig into too many of them. From there, go to Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 8. Jeremiah 2 and verse 8.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 8. Chapter 2 and verse 8.
Read.
The priest said not, where is the Lord? and they that handle the law knew me not.
So those that handle God's laws don't know him. It says that they know him not. They can't tell you. And you know Christians love to say, God know my heart. I got a personal relationship. God just said, you know, y'all damn Christians, if y'all was taught by these pastors, you don't know God. You know him not because they don't know God. Read on.
The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied Baal.
Baal is the devil, the so-called white man. Well, in this aspect, it's talking about the devil. So they prophesy and Baal. Read on.
And walked after things that do not profit.
So they walked after things that did not profit, the people. From there, go to John chapter 8 and verse 44. John chapter 8 and verse 44. Because the same spirit that's on these pastors is the same spirit that was on the scribes and Pharisees. Read that.
The book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44.
Read.
Ye are of your father, the devil.
Who are they of?
Your father, the devil.
So they are of their father, the devil. Belial, like we just read back in Jeremiah. So read on.
And the lust of your father you will do.
The lust of your father you will do. So whatever the white man says goes, that's what you say goes. Whatever he pushes forth is what you follow. You follow him without any kickback. Only people you have kickback against is your own people. Damn pastors. Read on.
He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him.
So ain't no truth in the white man, and ain't no truth in these pastors. We just read that. They don't know God, so there is no truth in them. They have no knowledge of God in them. But it says that he was a murderer. They have the same spirit. Because guess what? If you teaching your people a false God and the end result is death and destruction, guess what? The blood of those people in your congregation, the blood is on your hand. The bigger your congregation, the more blood you got on your hand. You got to understand that. So you all are murderers. You all are murderers. Thus saith the Lord. All right. So from there, if that's it on it, read on. Finish it off.
When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
So remember, all the scriptures we read about Amalek and about Esau, that they are liars. They're the synagogue of Satan, so on and so forth. Guess what? It says that they're the father of it, meaning all lying starts and finishes with these people. They are the father of lies. So you can't listen to them because they are full of BS. You can't trust a pastor. You can't trust somebody. I told a old dude the other day. I said, I can't trust you. I can't trust nothing you saying. You're an old dude with no wisdom. You walking around with no beard, and you talking about all this stuff about white Jesus and so on and so forth. I can't listen to you. You telling a damn butch that it's okay to be a butch. God knows your heart. This is nonsense. This is BS. This is what we got to deal with on a daily basis. From there, go to Acts chapter 8 and verse 9. Let's show the spirit that's on these damn people. Acts chapter 8, verse 9 through 11. Acts chapter 8.
The book of Acts, chapter 8 and verse 9.
Read.
But there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one.
So this is the same spirit of the pastors. They use sorcery in order to trick our people. Part of that sorcery is them doing them what they call that? The talking in tongues, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know what they be saying, man. That thing is nonsense to me. I can't even do it. I can't even pretend to do it. You understand? But they use that sorcery. That is sorcery. You know what else is sorcery? When the way they talk in the my Jesus, he gave me another day. That is sorcery. They playing on the emotions of the people. Then after that, they follow up with the tithing basket and a song. That is all sorcery. Now, real quick, pull up the definition of sorcery.
Sorcery, the use of power gained from the assistance or control of evil spirits especially of divinity.
Divining.
Divining.
So they use evil spirits. You cannot tell me the Christian church is not filled with evil spirits. The way they treat each other, the pastor be sleeping with people in the congregation, the pastor be sleeping with children. Yes, your pastor is a pedophile. Yes, he is. He looking at your young daughter and he plotting on her. He is and a lot of them be homosexuals. They be booty bandits. You understand? So you got to watch these damn pastors. Matter of fact, you need to get the hell out of the Christian church. You need to come over to IUIC or find a congregation that keeps God's commandments. That's the reason why God sent us forth in the earth today, because he saved the best for last. That's why. Because your pastor ain't ish. And he ain't going to be ish until he repents and keeps God's commandments. So it says sorcery. So go back to Acts chapter 8 and read verse 9 again. Acts chapter 8 and verse 9. Read that.
The book of Acts, chapter 8 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
But there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery, and bewitched the people of Samaria.
You know how they bewitch them? Come as you are. Read on.
Giving out that himself was some great one.
Yep, they play like they great. Just look at T.D. Jakes. Look at Creflo Dollars. Look at all these pastors. They act like they some great someone. What's that dude named Todd? What's his name? I can't even think of his name. From Oklahoma. Read on. Yeah, Big Zesty. Read on. Verse 10.
Verse 10. To whom they all gave heed, from the least to the greatest, saying, this man is the great power of God.
That's the same thing that these sisters say today. Not my pastor, not these little homosexual men. Not my pastor. This is what he said. Hey, I have a sister at my job. Damn, I don't got time. But I'm just going to say she a big, major Christian. She refuses to believe that Jesus Christ is black. And it wasn't even me who said it. It was another sister at the job. She was like, yeah, Jesus Christ is black. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You know what? That's 100% fact. You know, you read about that in the Bible. He black. I love when they start going into stuff like that. Sometimes I get involved, you know. But she refuses to accept that Jesus Christ is black. She's like, no, I got to call my pastor because my pastor said Jesus is white. You got to call your pastor when the Bible is literally saying, Revelations 1:14, Daniel 10, that he's black. You got to go call your pastor. That means your pastor has performed sorcery on you, and now you put him as the great power of God. Read verse 11 now.
Verse 11. And to him they had regard, because that of long time he had bewitched them with sorceries. So
they bewitched the people, tricked the people with sorceries, from the least to the greatest, from the youngest to the oldest, from the one in the poor to the rich. All of them were deceived by this guy. And that's the same way it is in our community today. From there, go to Jeremiah 10 and verse 21. Jeremiah 10 and verse 21. Hey, and if y'all claim y'all got the Holy Ghost and y'all rolling on the floor, y'all got the damn devil on y'all. Just want y'all to know y'all got an evil spirit. That's only an evil spirit to make you roll. A grown person get on the ground and roll like they on fire. That's the only damn thing that'll do it. The devil. Read Jeremiah 10:21.
Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 21. For the pastors are become brutish.
That means they become clowns. They become fools. Read.
And have not sought the Lord.
They don't seek the Lord.
Therefore, they shall not prosper, and all their flocks shall be scattered.
So all their flocks shall be scattered. Why? Play the videos now. Play the other two videos. All right, let's get it. You got them? There we go.
But you do want
Big Zesty. Play it from the beginning. Go back to the beginning. All right, there you go. Play it.
Some of y'all don't want the cake, but you do want the cookie.
Look at this guy.
I'm gonna let your mind go everywhere it wants to. I need some.
Look at this.
Real.
You trying to tell me he's sent by God? Look at this clown. This is a clown right here. Look at this. Come on, man. It look like he got jizz on his face, man. Let's keep it 100, man. Ain't no grown man unless he's zesty as hell doing this for no likes, for nothing. Only spirit that'll make you do this is an evil spirit, the spirit of Satan. You understand that? Play on.
Can you bring me something else to comfort me? What used to comfort me doesn't work anymore. Some condoms, some lotion.
Come on, man. Come on now, dog.
Some of y'all don't want the cake, but you do want the cookie. I'm gonna let your mind go everywhere it wants to. I need some real comfort. Can you bring me something else to comfort me? What used to comfort me doesn't work anymore.
Imagine
Some
being in
condoms,
church seeing this nonsense, man. This
some
is crazy.
lotion.
And they sitting through this. How defiled are they?
Where's my laptop? Oh, here it is.
Murderer. He is a murderer. He's killing people.
Now, I know some Christians are uncomfortable right now. And some of y'all don't
Then
want
he
the
licked his lips. Now watch this. Check this out.
Here are 6 crazy Mike Todd moments. He poured syrup
Mike
over
Todd,
the
that's his
Bible.
name.
syrup all over the communion, over the Bible too.
Come on, man.
Y'all stop acting like you care about this.
You ain't never seen an
Minutes
Israelite
like
do
this
that.
in his sermons.
Actually, gonna do something.
He loves entertaining people.
No, I don't. No.
Watch
Black
this.
thing today is watermelon. Use my cake.
Zesty. You can't, man. He is as fruity as that thing around him, man.
But I just sent somebody money.
His reason for buying super expensive clothes.
And so part of what I've always tried to do is use my fashion to make a doorway for my faith.
His view of sin.
So I said, we're going to go to the edge on this. And they said, Pastor, how far on the edge are we going to go? I said, we're going to do everything short of sin.
What's the problem with
Hey,
Mike
if any of
Todd?
y'all got
Is
one
that a
dread
man
hanging
you
like
would take
that, that's
seriously as your
zesty.
pastor?
Subscribe for more shorts like
This
Some of
guy
y'all-
is zesty. Even Esau see it. Jeremiah 3:15. So you trying to tell me that the Lord sent these guys forth to raise up the people, to comfort the people? No, God didn't send these people. You know who sent them? Satan sent them. Esau, the devil, sent them. The bastard sent them. The bastard sent these pastors, but guess what God's going to do? Read that. Jeremiah 3:15.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 15.
Read.
And I will give you pastors according to mine heart.
So God said he was going to give pastors according to his heart. Read.
Which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
We are going to be the ones that feed the people with knowledge and understanding. Who else is going to do it? Because the pastors aren't doing it. What's the knowledge and understanding? Get that for me. Get the knowledge for me. Get the knowledge. You know it. Because what we just saw, ain't no knowledge in that. Ain't no understanding in that. That's foolery. That's brutish acts that he's doing in the church. That is nonsense. It's to deceive the people with a good show. We're not here for a show. We're here to bring Babylon down, and we're here to show our people who they are in the Bible so that they can correct their ways. Read that.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 7.
Read.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
So the priest's lips should keep knowledge. What is the law? What is the knowledge?
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
So they're supposed to seek the law. He didn't come out with no laws. All he did was talk. We don't want to hear the talking. We want to hear the scriptures, because Jeremiah 3:15 said he would give pastors according to his heart. That's what God said. And guess what? That's what you're seeing rise up in the earth now. Pastors according to God's heart. From there, read that in 1 Samuel 10 and 6. 1 Samuel 10 and 6. 1 Samuel 10 and 6.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 10 and verse 6.
Read.
And the Spirit of the Lord will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man.
So we have been turned into another man. Why? Because Christ called us out of darkness. He set us up. He called us into this calling. It wasn't no man that called us. He did it according to his heart, and he set us up and established us to bring forth what the truth really is. And that these pastors, they've been lying. They've been lying to us the whole time. You can't tell me there's any truth in Mike Todd. There's any truth in Creflo Dollars. There's any truth in any of these pastors. These pastors are damn lies. Now pull up the next video. Pull up the next video. The next video to show you that these pastors are damn lies, that they're full of crap.
Story. A local pastor is in jail accused of sexually assaulting a family member several hundred times. And court documents say it happened in parking lots in 2 local churches. ABC
It says a Houston pastor raped child 600 times. Move the pause. Impregnated her, records allege.
Well, court documents showing this sexual assault started when this little girl was just 7 years old. It lasted for almost a
7
decade.
years
At one
old.
point,
Imagine your
he even got
7-year-old baby
pregnant.
getting banged by this big
39-year-old
dude,
Robert Carter
big
is telling
barley
police that
dude.
sexually assaulted his own family member. Documents showing this happened over the span of a decade at least 600 times. Now he's in jail for continuous sexual abuse of a child. Court documents showing the victim told police the assault would happen almost nightly. And when she turned 16, the documents showing he got her pregnant. The documents showing she had the baby in a closet, and he then took it to a nearby fire station. Some of the details in these documents are too graphic to show. Investigators accusing Carter of doing this at multiple locations. It started in 2008 when the child was only 7 years old. He would offer to give her candy in exchange for sexual acts. Investigators saying he would do this when other family members were sleeping, telling the child if she told anyone, nobody would believe her.
A very disturbing.
All right, so nobody would believe her when she went to her parents. Why? Because guess what? Uncle is a pastor. Ain't no way he doing that. We just went to his church on Sunday. You didn't hear the word that he brought forth? Matter of fact, you need to, I'm going to have Uncle take you to church. You need to be with Uncle more often. You know how dumb black people are when it comes to dealing with stuff like this? We never listen to our kids. We always tell them, shut up, be quiet. I blame the parents. I blame the fact that black people have gotten to the point where when our kids try to voice themselves, we tell them they don't know what they're talking about. They children, and we don't listen to them. We shut them down. We never allow our children to talk. Why? Because the white man has it geared in our mind from slavery that children don't know crap, or that children can't express themselves, or children don't have no opinion. No, sometimes you need to listen to your damn kids. They're crying out to you. But what has happened is we listen to the white man and what he says. But Amalek, there's a video I had, but I'm not going to play it for time's sake. I ain't send it, but Amalek basically said that with their children, they listen to them. With their children, they take certain things that they say serious and they build their children up so their children can have a voice. They basically raise their children so when they get into society, they know how to stand up for themselves. They know how to do things for themselves. Black people, we lie down. We lie down. White people, me and the officers were talking about this the other night. White people will go to their job, ask for a raise, and be full of confidence when they go for their raise. Black people, we like, man, I don't want to get fired. I don't want to be on the radar of Mr. White Man. So we don't go ask for a raise. We be like, nah, man, you know what? Let me just be content with what I have. White people raise their children different. They raise their children to think that they're the best and that they deserve the best. We always put a cap on our children. We always put a cap on them. So when they do come to us and express something, we be like, nah, shut up. Go in the room. You don't know what you're talking about. Pastor love you. Nah, Pastor been in there banging your little girl. Pastor been in there funneling with your son balls. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on in the Christian church. But that's the reason why God raised us up, honorable men with integrity, so we can shut down all the BS. Read that. Jeremiah 3:23. Just to show you that we come from that. Jeremiah 3:23.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 23.
Read.
Truly in vain is salvation hoped for, from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in the Lord, our God is the salvation of Israel.
So our God is the salvation of Israel. But read from the top one more time.
Truly in vain is salvation hoped for.
So in vain, salvation is hoped for. Why? Read.
From the hills and from the multitude of mountains.
That's where we went to sacrifice to idols. That's where we was committing idolatry at. Read on.
Truly in the Lord, our God is the salvation of Israel.
Read on.
For shame have devoured the labor of our fathers.
So shame has devoured the labor of our fathers. The shame goes into them worshiping idols, the labor that they put in for these idols, for Caesar Bow, for the Christian church. Because I remember when I first told my father about the truth and my mother, they thought I was full of crap. And you know what I dad said? You know what? I'll go to church with y'all one Sunday. If your pastor bring out more than 3 scriptures, I will consider going back to the Christian church. I went to their church. You know how many scriptures the pastor pulled? He pulled 1 scripture, and the rest of the 2 hours was his living testimony, sermons, songs, and dance. That was the last time my mother and father went to the church. I showed them that tithing was in the Bible, so on and so forth. My mother, she made the change real quick, but my father, it took a little bit of time because he owned his own business, and he was like, hey, the Lord gave my own business, so I got to work sometime on the Sabbath. Finally, years later, he finally stopped working on the Sabbath. He grew his beard, so on and so forth. He started watching classes online, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, Lord's way, Lord's will, they go completely the whole way. They with another camp, but Lord's will, they go the whole way. And they start keeping all the commandments of the Most High God. You understand? But the thing is it took me going to the church because they didn't believe. They didn't believe. I had to go sit in the church. This is when I first came in the truth. But when I first came in the truth, that's when I started coming to them with a lot of stuff. And what do they think? They think that we're in a cult. But then they find out that the church is actually the cult, and they realize that what they've been doing has been in vain. So read on in verse 23 again. Was that verse 23 that we were just reading, or verse 24?
Verse 24.
Read verse 24 again.
Verse 24. For shame have devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth. Their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. We lie down in our shame, and our confusion covereth us. For we have sinned against the Lord our God, we and our fathers.
So going into these churches, we have sinned against our Lord God. Read on.
We have sinned against the Lord our God, we and our fathers, from our youth even unto this day.
So even from our youth unto this day, we have been sinning against God. Read on.
And have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God.
So all of us have been at that point where we were not obeying the voice of God. Read Jeremiah 11 and verse 13. Because it says that for shame have devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth. So from the time we were young, we have been devoured by this. They have been devouring us. Yeah, I put on glasses. Yeah, I'm trying to read along right now. Y'all see the change? Hey, I gotta wait for the Lord to give me good eyes again. Hey, read that. Jeremiah 11:13. Jeremiah 11:13. Read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 11 and verse 13.
Read.
For according to the number of the cities were thy gods, O Judah.
So we had gods according to the number of our cities. You know what that goes into today? If we bring it up to today, it goes into the fact that on one corner you got a Seventh-day Adventist, another corner you got a Catholic church, on another corner you got a Baptist, on another corner you got an AME, an African Methodist Episcopal church, on another corner you got a Pentecostal church. So you have all these churches on these all throughout our community. So to the number of our cities, read on.
Verse 12. Then shall the cities of, verse 13. For according to the number of thy cities were thy gods, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem have ye set up altars to that shameful thing, even altars to burn incense unto Baal.
So we also used to burn incense to Baal. We also were doing these things in the churches. We were also caught up in the confusion of this world. So this used to be us, but guess what? It was the shame. Shame came because I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard the truth, the things that I did in the past, all the sins that I committed, from thinking Caesar Bow was Jesus, from walking a Christian cross, from smoking drugs, doing drugs, selling drugs, so on and so forth. All these things I was ashamed of. All the things that I thought was okay that I found out was sin. It was a shame to me. I felt like I let God down, which I was. But what happened was the truth was shown to me, and I saw that I had to make a change. And what did I do? I repented, just like many of our brothers and sisters did, like we read in 1 Samuel chapter 10 and verse 6. And what happened from that point? Nehemiah chapter 9 and verse 26. Verse 27. Let's get to 27 first. Nehemiah 9 and 27. Nehemiah 9 and 27. So that spirit of God came on us. Real quick, hold Nehemiah 9 and 7 and read 1 Samuel 10 and 6 again, and then read Nehemiah 9 and verse 27.
Yes, sir. The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 10 and verse 6.
Read.
And the Spirit of the Lord will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man.
So the Spirit of the Lord came unto us, pulled us out of these Christian churches, pulled us from under the umbrella of these lying pastors, and a new spirit came on us, and we began to prophesy. We began to go into the scriptures, right? So from there, read Nehemiah 9 and verse 27.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 9 and verse 27.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies, who vexed them, and in time of their trouble. And when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven.
So God heard our cry from heaven. Do you realize IUIC and the different branches of Israelite camps that are coming up in the world? That's God hearing the voice of us crying. He's raising up leaders and heroes. I call them heroes because guess what? A hero is somebody who saves people. A hero is somebody who you can look to for encouragement, who inspires you. So guess what? Bishop Nathaniel, our bishops, they are heroes. Bishop Yawasop is a hero. Bishop Kanai is a hero. Our deacons are heroes. Our captains are heroes. Our officers are heroes. Our soldiers are heroes. These are heroes in the earth today. They are heroes showing a better image of what than we've ever seen. They're saving us from literally from the hand of a dragon. A dragon. We are in the midst of a dragon who's trying to destroy us, who's trying to devour us like bread. And guess what? God sent heroes to save us. Now read that. Let's finish that off. Now, them images fire. Read.
And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven, and according to thy manifold mercies, thou gavest them saviors.
He gave saviors. So guess what? It was the bastards, pastors. Now it's time for the saviors to rise up and take the earth back, to restore the image of God in the earth, who Christ is, what he looks like, who the real children of God are, who land that belongs to. It's our land. And guess what? They ain't going to have it for that much longer. The time is getting short, and they know that hey, guess what? You know when you on the final stage of a video game, the last boss is the hardest. Guess what? We at that last boss of the video game. And damn right he gonna be hard. But God raised up saviors to defeat that damn boss. And guess what? He gonna send Christ to do the finish him. Christ is gonna come through, and he coming with the IUIC and all that other good stuff, the lightning sword. He gonna power up, charge up, and he gonna destroy them. He gonna destroy this damn dragon. Read on, finish it off.
Nehemiah chapter 9 and verse 6, verse 27. Therefore thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies, who vexed them, and in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven, and according to thy manifold mercies, thou gavest them saviors, who saved them out of the hand of their enemies.
So guess what we're doing? We are saving our people out of the hand of their enemies. And guess what? We were saved out of the hand of the enemies by our elders. And now it's our turn. They raised us up to be the next generation of saviors, to save our people out of the hand of the enemies so it could continue. Because guess what? We got to keep doing the work until Christ returns. And read verse 26 now. Watch this.
Verse 26. Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against thee and cast thy law behind their backs.
So some of our people are going to be rebellious and cast God's law behind their back. Read on.
And slew thy prophets
And they're going to slay us. They're going to slay the saviors. Read on.
And slew thy prophets, which testified against them, to turn them to thee. And they wrought great provocations.
So we turning the people to Christ, to God. We're the ones doing that. And it said that they're going to slay us just like they did then. They're going to do it again. And watch this. It said, wrought a great provocation. From there, read Mark chapter 15 and verse 7. Just to give an example. Matter of fact, don't do Mark because Mark is a little too long. For time's sake, let's do Acts 17. Because Mark is going into Christ. Let's deal with Acts 17 and verse 5. Acts 17 and verse 5. Show you an example of great provocation.
The book of Acts, chapter 17 and verse 5.
Read.
But the Jews, which believed not, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of the baser sort.
So they took lewd fellows. They were moved to envy. Why? Because the people were starting to understand Christ. Read on.
With the fellow sorts, and gathered a company, and set all the city on an uproar.
That's that great provocation. They set the whole city on an uproar. Read.
And assaulted the house of Jason, and sought to bring them out to the people. And when they found them not, they drew Jason and certain brethren unto the rulers of the city.
They brought them to the nobles of the city. This is going to happen again. You read that in, what is that, Isaiah 13. Read.
Crying, these that have turned the world upside down are come hither also.
So they're going to cry. Guess what? When we go to different cities, they say these niggas here also. Damn, they messing up another parade. They messing up another event. We can't do our niggerdom like we really want to. Why? Because God sent us and we came out to destroy, cast down all lies. That's what God sent us for. We saviors. And they don't realize it. Why? Because they're rebellious. And it says turn the world upside down. No, we turn the world right side up. Why? Because we the gods of the earth. And we came back to set things in order. But the problem is our people like dysfunctional, or they like the world being dysfunctional. They like the white man ruling over them. From there, read Amos chapter 5. Nope, don't read Amos 5. Read Mark 8:15. Mark 8:15 to Amos 5. Mark 8:15 to Amos 5. A few more scriptures.
The book of Mark, chapter 8 and verse 15. And he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod.
So guess what? That the leaven is the sin. So beware of the leaven of who? The Pharisees. That will be your pastors. And beware of the leaven of Herod. Guess what? That's the bastards. So God already told us, Christ already told us, beware them. Beware these false teachers. You understand? Beware of them, these bastards and pastors. Christ said it. So from there, read Amos.
Amos, chapter 5 and verse 10.
Read.
They hate him that rebuketh in the gate.
So we already know they hate us. We already know the hatred is coming. But do you think we give a damn? No, we don't care. We don't care. We already know what time it is. We already know what we got to do. You understand? But guess what? God has given us time because guess what? Our wives might not be ready for what's to come. Our children might not be ready. So they still need us. Guess what? Bishop had a situation going on that had the whole nation, well, I would say IUIC, we were going through it. But guess what? God kept him here. Why? Because God knew we needed him. We still need our bishop, and God knew it. So guess what? God ain't going to take away what he know we need. God is only going to test us to see if our faith is there. You understand? Because guess what? When our leadership get tested and we see them fall or we see something going on with them, it's testing us too. Why? Because we follow these men. We look at these men like fathers. So when our saviors get tested, guess what? We are being tested too to see how we move, to see how we respond, to see how we react, to see where our faith is at, to see if we're going to pray up, if we're going to fast up, if we're going to pray for our leadership. You understand? It's our responsibility too. The nation depends on all of us. It's not a one-man show. It depends on every man. That's why it's so important for brothers to hit the MOV so they can be saviors. Because God is calling you. You've been ordained for this. You understand? From there, get 2 Corinthians. You've been ordained to be hated. That's our job, to be hated. And I love it so. I love it. Keep hating me. Hate me, hate me, hate me. All right, read that, man.
2 Corinthians
10 and 5.
2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 5.
Read.
Casting down imaginations.
That's what we do. We cast down all imagination. Anything that they try to lift up, they say they the Jews. Nah, we gonna prove you ain't the Jews. You say these pastors, you supposed to go to church on Sunday. It's okay to eat crab, shrimp, and lobster, pork. Nah, we casting that down. They say, hey, in the Cayman Islands, they tell you it's okay to eat turtles. We casting it down. We casting down all the lies. Anything they bring forth that we know it ain't of the Lord, we casting it down. Multiple wives, we casting it down. They say, hey, I don't got to get married and get papers. We casting it down. We casting down everything that they say in this society is okay. We going forth in the street and we casting it down. Thus saith the Lord. Read on.
Casting down imaginations.
Read.
And every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God.
That's damn right. Anything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, the high things, such as the white man, these pastors, anything that exalts itself above the knowledge of God, we are casting down. That's why we got original royalty. Shout out to the Young Lions. You know what I'm saying? They just dropped a song. We got music coming out. Why? To cast down the lies of this society. To cast down all the lies. That's what God sent us forth for. From there, go to Amos chapter 7 and verse 12. Amos 7 and 12.
The book of Amos, chapter 7 and verse 12. Also, Amaziah said unto Amos, O thou seer, go, flee thee away into the land of Judah.
So he said, you seer. He called him a seer. A seer is a prophet. That's why I said, wait, read on. It's going to say it. Amos, read.
Go, flee thee away into the land of Judah, and there eat bread and prophesy there.
So he said, go prophesy over there. They tell us the same thing. They say, why you got to come around here? Why you in our neighborhood? Go over there and prophesy. Read on.
But prophesy not again anymore at Bethel, for it is the king's chapel, and it is the king's court.
We just left, Washington? Washington? I'm pretty sure there's some people out there like, man, y'all in front of y'all down here where the president at. Go somewhere else with that nonsense. Nah, we gonna keep bringing it out. Read.
Verse 14. Then answered Amos and said unto Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was as an herdman and a gatherer of sycamore.
So he like, man, I wasn't raised to be a prophet, just like us. Some of us might have what they would call low-level jobs, janitor, a garbage man, you cut lawns, you might be a barber. They consider those low-level jobs in this society, right? So they look at it as if it's nothing. And he said, I'm not a prophet's son. I'm not a prophet myself. But watch this. Verse 15.
Verse 15. And the Lord took me as I followed the flock. And the Lord said unto me, go, prophesy unto my people Israel.
That's the same thing he said to us. He brought us in his truth. He said, go and prophesy to my people Israel. And guess what? Who are we to say no? Who the hell are you to say, no, I'm not going to prophesy in the name of the Lord? Who the hell are any one of us to say, I'm not going to do the Lord's work that he called me to do? You understand? If you say that, then you the damn devil. So if you come into this truth and you think it's okay not to get built up to a point where it's time for you to go forth, then you're not thinking like a prophet. You are a prophet. Christ didn't pull you out of the world for nothing. He pulled you out of the world to do the work. He has a big responsibility, and he has a great reward waiting for you. All you got to do is put your hand to the plow and get busy. You understand? Finish it off. Verse 16 and 17.
Verse 16. Now therefore, hear thou the word of the Lord. Thou sayest, prophesy not against Israel, and drop not thy word against the house of Isaac.
Read.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city.
So now he prophesying against him. And it's the same thing we do against you pastors. Read.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city.
I can tell the way she dressed. She got her breasts all out. She gonna be a harlot in the city. She probably banging the deacon. Read.
And thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword.
And your sons and daughters, guess what? When the tribulation come, ain't gonna be, you think you're gonna be okay in that day because you're good with a white man now. But guess what it says? It says, what? Thy sons and daughters shall what?
Shall fall by the sword,
Uh-huh.
and thy land shall be divided by line,
Uh-huh.
and thou shalt die in the polluted land.
Read.
And Israel shall surely go into captivity.
So Israel should surely go in captivity. So this was for that time period, but we're bringing it up to today, dealing with these pastors. So they tell us not to preach the word, but guess what? There's going to come a time when we're going to be cast into prison, when houses are going to be divided, when sons and daughters are going to be put to death. And guess what? Y'all pastors that think it's okay, that didn't prepare y'all families for what's to come, y'all going to get it. Y'all gonna get it in that day, and your wife will damn sure be a harlot. If she probably one right now, probably sleeping with the dope boy down the street or the neighbor or somebody at her job. You understand? That's facts. All right. So from there, we get Ephesians 1, 3, and 5. Ephesians 1, we're gonna read 3 through 5.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 1 and verse 3. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who have blessed us with all spiritual blessings
Uh-huh.
in heavenly places in Christ, according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world.
So Christ chose us before the foundation of the world. The Father chose you. He chose you. You got to think about this. To be chosen, that means when I think about it, I think about how with the NFL and NBA, how they only choose the best of the best. Meaning you were chosen from all the people because you are the best of the best. And the Lord sees something in you. He either you're gonna be example of the right thing to do or example of the wrong thing to do. You got to make that choice. So read on. That's it.
No, sir.
Finish it off. Finish it off.
Verse 4. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestined us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will.
Do you realize that us being in his truth, us being saviors, was part of his will? We are literally part of God's will. Because people like to say, God's will, Lord, I'm going to do God's will and so on and so forth. Christians like saying that. But guess what? Part of God's will is us. Us going forth preaching his word, we're actually part of God's will. We're bringing forth the will of God. All right, so from there, go to Isaiah 29 and verse 21. Isaiah 29, 21.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 21.
Read.
That make a man an offender for a word.
So they're going to make us offenders for a word. Read.
And lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate.
So they're going to lay a snare, a trap. They're going to try to trap us in our words. They're going to bring false witnesses in, just like they did to Christ, just like they did to the disciples. Guess what? We on replay. The book of Acts is still being lived out. It's being lived out between us who are keeping the commandments. Us keeping the commandments, we are living proof of the book of Acts still being continued in the earth. And guess what? We can't stop the work. We got to continue it. And part of it is understanding they're going to lay traps for us. They're going to try to trap us in our words. They're going to try to trap us with social media. They're going to try to trap us by any means possible. You got to realize when you know that you're about to lose a fight, you do anything possible to win that fight. Esau knows he is on a decline right now. He knows that he is losing a fight. He is going to do anything to win that fight. Anything, by any means possible. That's why he uses our sisters against us. Because he thinks if he uses the sisters, that we going to fall off the track. But guess what? We ain't falling, baby. Hey, man, we rather lose them than keep them, if that's the case. Because it's God first. That's real talk. We love our sisters, but this is facts. But we know our sisters, they gonna get right. And some of them already working on getting it right. Right? Just like us. So go ahead, finish that one off. Isaiah 29, 21.
And turn aside the just for a thing of naught.
Uh-huh. That's it. All right. From there, go to 1 Peter's 4:16. 1 Peter's 4:16. They turn aside the just for naught. They treat us like we nothing.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 16. Yet, if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf.
So the real Christians are going to suffer. They're going to go through it. They're going to go through a lot of trials and tribulations for the name of God. That's why when you read in Acts, it talks about the Jews were the first ones to be called Christians, Paul and Barnabas. Read on.
Verse 17. For the time has come.
Read verse 16 again.
Verse 16. Yet, if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf.
Verse 19.
Verse 19. Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of God.
So according to the will of God,
commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as unto a faithful creator.
So we got to commit our souls to well-doing. What is the well-doing? The keeping of God's commandments. Loving your neighbor as yourself. Loving the Most High God. Keeping the Sabbath day holy. And sometimes you just got to walk away from some of these damn Christians, some of these damn pastors. All right? So from there, get 2 Ezra 2, 35 through 40. And then from there, Obadiah 21.
2 Ezra chapter 2 and verse 35.
Uh-huh.
Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore.
Read.
Flee the shadow of his world.
Uh-huh.
Receive the joyfulness of your glory.
Right?
I testify my Savior openly.
That's what we supposed to do. Testify Christ openly. Read. Because guess what? He's our Savior. He raised us up to be saviors. And guess what? Christ is our ultimate Savior. Read on.
Or receive the gift that is given you, and be glad, giving thanks unto him that have called you to the heavenly kingdom.
So he's calling us to the heavenly kingdom. But he said receive the gift. So everything that we're doing comes with a gift. It comes with a gift as long as you endure, as long as you stay in the fight. Read on.
Arise up and stand. Behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord.
I know I want to be sealed. I don't know about y'all. Read.
Which are departed from the shadow of the world.
Read.
And have received glorious garments of the Lord. Take thy number, O Zion.
Read.
Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
All right, from there, read verse 45.
Verse 45. He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off mortal clothing.
So we want to put off the mortal clothing. Read on.
And put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
So this is what we want. This is what we desire. Ooh, that picture bad. Jeez. Man, that's what we want. We want to be crowned. We want to be the sons of God. We want to be, well, we are the sons of God, but we want our place in the kingdom. We want the gift. We want the eternal life. That's what we do this for. Obadiah chapter 20, Obadiah verse 21, last scripture. Obadiah 21.
The book of Obadiah, verse 21.
Read.
And saviors shall come upon Mount Zion.
So who's going to be on Mount Zion?
Saviors shall come upon Mount Zion.
So the saviors are going to be on Mount Zion. Read.
To judge the Mount of Esau.
What we going to do?
Judge the Mount of Esau.
We going to judge the damn heathen. Esau going to get it. Read.
And the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
And the kingdom's going to be the Lord's forever, ever, forever, ever. And we are going to rule. So that's been my class. Bastards, pastors, and saviors. We are the saviors. Hey, it's time for y'all to come up out them Christian churches. Hey, and y'all see the donation, but the donation right there, y'all donate. All right. All praises to the Most High. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. All right. I've been your host, Officer Luke.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom. What is the
nation? Nation is men leading by example. family. Nation